welcome to Around the Clock. I'm your host, Yolanda Greaves. We are kicking off our 9th season here at Around the Clock, and we have a great interview with Jill Verns and Maggie Masoke of Area. Of course, we have our select board update for the meeting that happened on Wednesday, September 7th, and we have a great Around the Town tour with some great shots of the first day of school. So stay with us as I bring you Around the Clock. Welcome back to Around the Clock. It's time for our Around the Town tour. We have a couple of fun stops for you. It is September, which means first day of school, and we were fortunate enough to go and get some great footage. Thank you to Mackie Katab for getting us some footage. We were able to see our new principal at work at the Mendez School, and of course all the kids coming in first day of school and all their excitement. Let's go take a look and a listen. Again, thank you to Mackie for that great footage. Just a reminder, now that there are kids out and about, make sure you're paying attention to those buses, which I'm sure was fun to see them pull into the schools and watch those kids come running off and their excitement for the first day of school. But be aware when that red sign is out, or even when the yellow lights are starting to flash, that you need to stop and not pass our buses. Well, from the Mendez and the Warren Elementary School, we are going to head over to downtown Ashland and the Bagel Table. There was a great appraisal event. It was sponsored by the ABA as well as Oak Realty, and it was a fundraiser for Student Council. Members of the community could purchase a ticket and bring 2 items in and get them appraised. It was our own Ashland Antique Show. Not quite like the Antique Roadshow, but still a lot of fun. It was great being there and watching people get their items looked at and appraised. There was 1 or 2 items that it was like, oh, this could be worth something. So that was fun to see.
These vases. When I look at any vases, I always look here. What's underneath? What do you see?
Nothing.
Exactly. Who made this? Don't know. Where's it from? Don't know. Right? Well, how do you know? Is it French? Is it Italian? Don't know. Right? So, on the vases, right?
They're still beautiful.
Okay, now because anything that is family, right? Because I've done a lot of things that I've seen. This is my great grandmother's, and so on and so on and so on, right? It's family. That's priceless. It's never going to go anywhere other than the grandkids and so on and so on and so on. Hopefully forever, right? Because that's what you've willed them to do. You know, when you're alive, you're telling them, hey, this is part of the... This just looks like any other lantern to you from a distance, right?
This is special.
Yes. It says, I can read it, Cargo Light, number 3954, Great Britain, 1939. Okay? So, if you look at it, you see these here on the sides?
Yeah.
Right? The reason why they had that is so that you could put a pin down there, right, and put more and more of them, right? A whole line, a whole bunch of them, right? Okay. It's a good find. All right, so I'm going to give you, what do you want to do with it? You want to keep it in the family? All right, so replacement value. Make sense? So the market value, something like that to replace. If you have to go out and buy another one somewhere, if you could find one, right? Probably right around the $200 mark. This is Van Briggle. Okay? Van Briggle is like Oh, this is very, very nice. As far as pottery goes, right? It's way up there, right? You got below this is Wedgwood. Okay, just to put a comparison. This, if you were to replace this, I'm gonna go 600.
Wow.
Easily.
It's my insurance agent.
It was our own Ashland Antique Show. It was great being there and watching people get their items looked at and appraised. There was one or two items that it was like, oh, this could be worth something. So that was fun to see. Well, from the bagel table in downtown Ashland, we're going to head over to the other side of Main Street, the Kitty Fenwal Car Show. Always a fun event. It's amazing the cars that show up there. The Ashland Lions have their food trailer serving food for people getting there early for some breakfast, and then of course hamburgers and hot dogs for lunch. Let's take a look and let's see if you can find your favorite car. I always have fun when I go to the car show, just looking at the different cars and how immaculate and proud these people are, and the variety of cars, the different ages, different colors, different shapes. So always a fun time at the Kitty Fenwal Car Show, which is also a fundraiser. From the Kitty Fenwal Car Show, we're going to go back down to downtown, and we're going to go head over to the corner spot for the Dragonfly Festival. If you were at the Dragonfly Festival, you're going to notice that it was a little bit different this year. They used to do it only in back of the Historical Society. Then they switched it to the Historical Society and the corner spot. Well, with the construction going on downtown, trying to get people from the corner spot to the Historical Society was a little precarious this year, so they did everything at the corner spot. There was some great music and great dancing. Big thank you and congratulations to Ashland Arts Alliance for another great event. Let's go take a look and a listen at what was happening at the Dragonfly Festival.
Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey, and everything will bring you to love. In the morning when I rise, bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything is gonna be alright. Have a guy who holds on in a paper car. Drink it up. Love him and you bring it up.
I like to read. I like to read. Use imagination, live the story in your mind. When you open up a book, you never know what you find. I like to read.
Well, thank you to Mackie as well for getting our footage at the Dragonfly Festival. We've been keeping him busy with all the different things going on town. If you ever have an event that you'd like to share with us here at WACA-TV and Around the Clock, either reach out to WACA-TV or on our Around the Clock Facebook page, and we'd love to share what you're doing with the community. Thanks for watching this section of Around the Town.
I like to read. I like to read. Use imagination, live the story in your mind. When you open up a book, you never know what you find. I like to read.
Hello, welcome to the Select Board update for the meeting that happened on Wednesday, September 7th. I'm Yolanda Greaves. The meeting did start at 6 p.m. with an executive session to discuss some property discussion as well as a contract. We then moved into open session at 7 p.m. We were in a hybrid model, which is what we're going to be doing moving forward for all of our meetings. So some of us will be in person in the Select Board meeting room, and then some of the members may be remote, which Joe Magnani was this time. We started with some citizens' participation, and we did have a scheduled appointment at 7:10. We were a little early, so we jumped to and approved our consent agenda. At 7:10, we had a discussion with Helen Nicole. She is bringing forward an updated demolition bylaw. We already have one here in town. But based on some feedback and some of the buildings and some of the projects and issues that are going on in town, she and some other members of the public have brought this forward. They also worked with our Historic Commission, and the goal is to have this before and presented at the fall special town meeting, which is going to be on November 16th. The couple of major changes are, instead of it being a set date, and it was 1940, it is now 70 years. So it's a rolling date. If you go to do a project, if your building that you're looking to change is 70 years older or more, you would have to go through this process should this pass at town meeting. So we had a very lively discussion, and that was good. We then had a discussion with Paul Gustafson, who is the current owner of 433 Chestnut Street. 433 Chestnut Street is one of those projects. The town bought the parcel through the agreement with Framingham State when they bought the Warren Woods. We wanted to do something with the house. We as a town couldn't afford to do that, so we worked with private partnership to try and get it renovated. There have been some changes and some steps along the way that might not have been appropriate, so we are in the process of working with Paul Gustafson to ensure that moving forward the rest of the project can get updated and will still be what we were looking for. And you can follow the full conversation on the Select Board meeting if you want to watch the full thing. From there, we went into old and new business. We discussed potential warrant articles. If you would like to put a warrant on a warrant article on the town meeting warrant, the intent needs to be submitted by September 30th with a follow-up date of when the actual warrant. So if you want to do a citizen's petition, or if you're on a committee that would like to present something, the intent needs to be there into town manager's office by September 30th. From there, we got an update on some private development. There's a lot going on in town that we as the town, yes, we have to approve it, but we don't necessarily have much to do with it. 501 Pond Street, over next to the nursing home, is moving forward in front of the planning board. That's 120 units with 25% affordable. 100 Chestnut Street, which is in front of Avenue of the Americas, that is 174 units with 10% of them looking to be affordable. 10 to 50 Main Street, 200 units with 25% affordable and 30,000 square feet of retail or commercial. And then there's a Starbucks looking to come in the current Walgreens, which is at the center connection of, I'm having a hard time today, with the intersection of West Union and Summer. So that Walgreens, Starbucks is looking to put something there. And then the last one, and this is not before the planning board yet, but that is being discussed, is Eden's at Shaw's. So they are looking to redevelop part of their plaza with some more housing, and they are going to be doing a public forum, and you can get more information on that at shawsplazaproject.com. We then discussed the town manager's contract in executive session. We had voted to extend the contract by 1 more year. So we now have a contract with our town manager through January 1st, 2025. And we also did approve, this was the first time we've done it, and it's been in his contract, a 2% bonus based on his salary from January 1st of 2022. We have changed our scheduled meeting from October 5th to October 12th in light of it being Yom Kippur. We wanted to show respect for those who celebrate that and not have a meeting on that evening. We discussed our volunteer barbecue. It was a little bit different this year. Instead of at the community center, we were all able to get together at my house and celebrate our volunteers. If you were a volunteer and attended, let us know what you thought. From there, we discussed improvements to the MBTA station. Rob Scheer is on an MBTA advisory committee. We talked about what we need to do to get some improvements there. We're going to look at working not only with our state rep and our state senator, but also with the Metro West Regional Collaborative that has many member towns that also use that train station. We discussed and approved participation in the Hometown Parade. It is happening Saturday, October 15th, and we as the Select Board are going to be walking. I hope you decide to walk with us or ride with us or perform or whatever you'd like to do, and make sure you go check out information on that. We got an update on inclusionary zoning. It is not going to be going forward on the special town meeting. There is still some work to be done. With only 2 months left before the special town meeting, it was felt best to not try to push it. The group and committee that is working on it will be doing more work and getting more information out to us. We also will be having a joint meeting with the planning board regarding the comprehensive plan process, and that'll be happening on September 14th at 7 p.m. From there, we jumped into our priority projects. Downtown, you can see the improvements happening. The curbing is going in, sidewalks are getting improved, and that is slowly moving forward. We're hoping to have it repaved before the winter, depending on weather and how things move forward. So be on the lookout for that. We got notified that the public safety building is still having it's slowly getting done. It obviously did not meet the September 8th or 9th date that they originally had, but they're looking to do something hopefully within the next month as things get finished. So be on the lookout for information on that. A couple of other things. Valentine Project, if you've driven by, some volunteers have been doing some clearing, and of course we are still looking to have discussion as to what we're going to actually do with that property. So be on the lookout for a potential other forum with feedback and looking for feedback on the proposal that was given to us by Kate Valentine. A few other things that we heard about from the town manager's report. We want to say thank you and goodbye to Lisa Ugliaro. She was our HR director and she is moving on. So thank you, Lisa, for all your work, and we hope that your next job is just as fun. We also got an update regarding the process that they're looking at for auxiliary replacement. So it could be a traffic officer program. So again, be on the lookout for that. The Ashland Access, which we all got via hard copy this past summer, will become a quarterly digital report, and that is going to be heading out soon as well. And the last thing is, even though we had all that rain, the reservoir level is still at 293.8, so we are staying at our stage 2 restrictions until the end of the September minimum. So that was our meeting that happened on Wednesday, September 7th. We wrapped up about 10 p.m. Thanks for listening to the Select Board Update. Hello and welcome back to Around the Clock. For today's guests, we have two wonderful women with us. This is Jill Verns and Maggie Masoke. They are here to talk to us and update us on AREA. AREA is Ashland Residents for Equity and Action. Maggie, I'm going to let you start. Tell us what you've been up to in the last couple of years.
Yes, first of all, thank you so much, Yolanda, for having us.
My pleasure.
At Around the Clock show. And thanks for all you do for the town. you keep some of us informed of what's going on.
Good.
Yeah. So a little bit about AREA. I meet people now in town that kind of know some of the work we do, and some people don't know about it, and we kind of talk to them about it. Mm-hmm. So briefly, AREA, Ashland Residents for Equity and Action, is a group of people. Let me read our mission.
Sure, that'd be great.
I have my card here. It kind of sums it up. Then I can just elaborate a little bit about it. Yeah. So AREA is a group of people of color and their allies working together to ensure that their voices are represented in local, civic organization, government, and the schools. We also support and promote people of color-run businesses in Metro West as engines of economic development that benefit our community at large. So through community action, we want to make Ashland a safe and inclusive community for all.
What a great mission.
Thank you so much. So as you heard our mission, we kind of, when we started area about 2 years ago, you guys could go back and watch Around the Clock. We did meet.
One of our
So a
first
little bit- one
interviews
of our-
with you, yeah.
Yes, yes. We had some, we decided to, because you can't fix everything, but
Right.
we just wanted to move the needle a little bit in, you know, in the right direction. So we picked 3 things that we felt were important to people of color and their allies and the community of Ashland that we love. So we decided to work on the education, you know, with the schools,
Yep.
to work with, and also to get civically, you know, engaged, civic engagement, and also the businesses.
Yep.
Try to promote businesses of people of color. So in summary or in briefly, you guys could visit our website as well, Ashland Equity, www.ashlandequity.org.
Okay.
So then you know read more about it, and if you have any questions, obviously reach out to us. But for the education, we did make goals and things that we wanted to see in Ashland Public Schools, and we've really worked. We've appreciated the collaborations that have been formed with Ashland Public School staff. We meet regularly with Mike Kyra and other staff members to kind of hear. They really love to hear what the community is saying and what people of color, what are their challenges in town, what are their kids are challenging in the schools as well. So some of the things that we've been working on over the past few years, we've worked together hand in hand in suggesting some books to be added to the curriculum.
Nice.
So we did actually the research. We asked basically all our volunteers, which we have about 150, I think, around now.
I think so,
about
yeah.
150 volunteers, parents, non-parents, everyone. It's all inclusive.
Right.
To suggest some books and materials that they feel will be helpful, you know, to broaden our kids' minds.
Right.
So we did categorize them per grade from K to 12, and
Nice.
we submitted it to the schools. And they did take the time and look at it last summer when they went for their retreat. And they've done also a lot of work picking up some of the books, picking up some of the materials, and also they've done some work around on their professional days. We were invited and also told, like Mike Kyra told us some of the work they were doing, that on their professional days they had consultants to come in
Nice.
and help out the teachers on how to deal with some of situations of bullying around, you know, kids of color, and how
Right.
the teachers and the staff can deal with it
Nice.
appropriately. So that's what we've done so far. And then we did also, we did the curriculum. We did we act as a bridge pretty much. Because some parents, we feel like parents of color sometimes have difficulty reaching out, and sometimes maybe also a language barrier. Because area is composed of where, you know, as we say, the group of people of color and our allies. So we all
Right.
work together here to
Right.
see where we can, you know, make some progress. So some of the challenges, some parents didn't know where to go. For example, if they have a complaint or something happened to their kid.
Right.
So we feel like area is kind of a bridge, has been a bridge
Nice.
to meet with the schools and let them know this is, a parent came to us, and and then we worked with the schools to make those connections. Yeah, and it's been helpful. There are some good examples. Actually, the kids came out on the other way very, very well and succeeded. And they've gone to college.
It's nice to hear that the work you've been doing is having an impact
Yeah.
in our schools and on our students. I think that's the important thing.
Right.
Good.
Thank you. Thank
Good.
you. Yeah.
And you also have a number of your members or people who've been working with you now representative on various appointed boards here in town.
Yes, sure. So let me speak on that. And actually, one little thing I forgot about the education is that we did work with the guidance at the Ashland High School. That has also been a successful program. We've volunteered about 15 diverse professionals that have gone, I think, in person and also mostly virtual because of COVID,
Right.
to meet with the kids and tell them about what they do, if it's nursing, if it's environmental, if it's computers, and expose these kids to the different professions that are out there, but also seeing different, you know,
Right, a
people
different
from
face.
Yes,
Yes.
it's been helpful and it was well received.
Nice.
So now to your next point that you had brought up
Yeah.
in terms of getting involved,
Yep.
I would also wanted to get a seat at the table to be able to voice some of our concerns and also contribute and participate with,
Yeah.
in town.
Yeah.
So we did have, before we started, we had no one. I mean, I've been volunteering around for
Right.
my own, but I felt like pretty much 80% of the people in our group didn't know how to
Right.
volunteer and get involved.
Yeah,
So when we started Area, we did collaborate with a lot of people in town. Yolanda involved, town manager.
Town manager, yep.
A lot of people. Everybody has been receptive.
Yeah,
Yes, everybody
yeah.
has been receptive to helping us out and connecting us to see how we can get involved. Sometimes, if you're nervous, we did start something like a buddy system. So if
Yeah,
I want to,
yeah,
if I wanted to join the Board of Health, I would, and I wanted to go to one of the meetings, I would invite, Jill, or
Right.
do you mind coming with me? I want to get involved, but I'm nervous to be in the
Right,
meetings. And
right.
so, long story short, we've now have about at least 6 people involved.
That's great.
Board
That's
of
great.
Health,
The housing board.
Housing Trust, yeah.
Yep.
The cultural council.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice,
Garden
nice.
Club. So
Right.
I think that's it. And we continue that work. We continue that work and encouraging the community to do that.
And there are so many volunteer opportunities. Sometimes it's trying to figure out what is going to match you as well as what the community needs. So it's great that you're still out there and you're finding more and more. And I think that's so important.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the last piece is the businesses.
Yep.
We're also excited about how the businesses are doing. So we did start a website. Everything is all volunteer. People volunteered to start the website, and we have a website running now. So on our website, we one of the issues that we found with the small businesses, and especially businesses of people of color, they didn't have that much exposure. So if they don't have that much exposure, they're not out there,
Right.
it means less traffic coming to their business, which means less income, obviously,
Yep.
which also trickles down to less food on the table, less time, because you're working
Right,
80
right.
hours, now you have to
Yeah.
get a night job. So we kind of thought that through to the bottom on what it affects, right? If a kid is hungry, they're going to have behaviors at school. Then frustrate.
Oh,
you
yeah.
see? So all this
It
is
all is
connected.
connected, definitely.
Yes. So what we decided to do, at least the little steps we're doing, is put their name on our website. So when you go to ashlandequity.org, you'll see their names listed. And we're not charging anything to have the names there. And people have come up to me and told me that, like for example, chocolate therapy.
Right. Yeah.
Mommy, we never heard about this business.
Right.
But when we saw it on your website, we tried it out and we love it. So we
Oh,
go there
good.
regularly. So
Nice.
that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's making those connections,
Yeah.
and in any way to get involved in a community, you have to get reconnected with it. So nice. I'm always amazed at the variety of backgrounds that we have here in Ashland, and how much it has changed in the 30-some years that I've been here. So. I appreciate the work that you are doing, and I think our community is better for it. So, Maggie,
much.
Jill, thank you both so much for being here on Around the Clock. We're going to continue sharing this story that you are doing and the work that you are doing. So, thank you again for coming back to Around the Clock,
Yes,
and
thank you.
we look forward to the event on the 17th.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you
You
so
are
much
very
for having
welcome.
us. Thank you so much.
And that wraps up our interview with Jill Verns and Maggie Musoke from Area.
Thank you so much for watching. As your host, Yolanda Greaves, I really enjoy doing this for you, and I hope that you enjoy our show. Thank you so much to Jill Verns and Maggie Musoke of Area for coming in and giving us an update on what they're working on. And thank you for watching this episode of Around the Clock.